Hey guys, welcome to my channel, welcome to my stream, and to another chapter 2 I think, working on this guy here. That is our Su-35S Flanker E by Great Wall Hobbies. So I will run this intro and we'll get started. Okay guys, welcome back. I'm going to have a sip of my coffee. And we're going to get started on this thing again. We didn't get a heck of a lot done last time. Obviously I got my little cockpit bucket painted with a couple of little bits that go in the cockpit. And that's pretty much it. So what I'm going to do today is I've put a few of my little panels on there, and I'll show you something that I discovered yesterday with this. Change the camera here. Okay, so you can see I've already put a couple of the panels on it, right on the right side of it there. So yeah, that looks nice. They look nice and pretty and perfect. So what I discovered in the kit that this comes with, this is the kit here, if you don't remember last time. Okay, they give us dash displays. You can either have the displays off or you can have the displays on. So if you're displaying this plane in flight, you can have the displays on. And if you just have it on the ground or something like that and it's all shut off, then they're all black. And so that's a really nice little feature that they do for you. Of course, I'm going to be displaying this on the ground, so my screens are black. I've already gone to the trouble of putting our black screens on in this one. Okay, that guy there, and I put the little panel on this one, and I put the two side ones on that one there. Okay, so those are done. So today I'm just going to get these pieces put on this side here. I'll show you guys how that's done, and yeah, and then we'll move on and we'll do some assembly on the actual ejector seat. Okay, and we'll see how far we get. So you just take these and you get your knife under them, kind of bend the paper a little bit, and you just get under them. Once they are unstuck from the paper, they don't stay anymore. Okay, they won't stick. So there's one. Okay, bend the paper just a little bit, get that edge off, and then you just slide the knife underneath nicely, and there we go. Those two are loose. Okay, so there's the three that are going to go on that one side. They do show you in the instructions exactly where they go. Okay, I'll show you on here where they go exactly. So these are the pieces I've put on. These. Okay, I put these three on already, and I put that on the display. I put these two, and then that little panel there. So these three are now what's going to go on. Okay, so what I'm going to do is to grab my glue. This just happens to be LePage wood glue. This is the same stuff, the same as Elmer's or school glue, or as professional guys call it, PVA glue. Yeah. So I'm just going to take this. I'm going to just grab a spare piece of cardboard or something. I'll just grab this here. And we'll get a little blob out here. There we go. That, of course, is way more than we need, but that's okay. And I'll take my professional little applicator. Just get a little dip on there. And we'll just kind of smear that on here. You don't need a lot, but you want enough that it's going to contact everywhere and add a nice little barrier between the piece and the plastic. I find the tweezers on these, even on these bigger pieces, the tweezers are easier to manage. And then we'll just line it up on here. Set her down. We want to go all the way up like this, get that hole lined up there. Give it a good little press down, make sure it's flat. And this is why we need a flat surface, because this has to glue down on a flat surface, right? If you left all your buttons and everything, the only thing that would be sticking to are the buttons. It would probably be crooked and it would be sitting up and it wouldn't look good. Okay, so there's one. Let's do its sister panel right beside it. Too much glue, I don't need that much glue. But that's the beauty of this is we can smear it around and wipe it off as we need. And of course this stuff dries clear, so that helps us quite a bit. And the nice thing I will say, you know, compared to using CA glue, is I've got the freedom to move these things around until I got them in the exact right spot. So yeah, whoever came up with the idea of using PVA glue on these things, you're a genius. I don't know who you are, whoever came up with that. But the fact that the PVA glue actually works, I always chalked up PVA glue to be only useful with, yes, only useful for cardboard and paper. I never would have, yeah, really, I never would have thought that PVA glue would glue plastic. So there we go. Yes, really, shut up. So there we go. There's our panels in, and they're in the spots that they're supposed to be, and they're lined up, and that's great. And yeah, I cannot complain. That's really, it looks really nice. It's highly detailed. If I can do this and get that to show you here. It's gonna focus for me. There you go. Yeah, looks really nice. I love the gloss on the panel there. You can see it looks like it's a display because it's shiny, and the rest of it's kind of flat. And yeah, it's and in fact the color they use to match the cockpit color is almost the same. If you really wanted to be picky, you could mask these off and then spray the panels, but I'm not that picky. I think it looks good enough. So I'll just wipe the glue off of my screwdriver. And now let's let that dry. Okay? Okay. So, with that done, these can be put aside. We don't need these anymore. So I'll just put those over here. And now we can look at the actual assembly of the ejector seat. So, off of our sprues, the C sprue and the I sprue, aka tree, whatever you want to call it. I call them both. I kind of mix. Call it trees, call it sprues. Okay, so gonna need my nippers. So I'm gonna grab our C tree, and we need a whole bunch of parts off of it. C61. Let's turn this around so I can read the numbers. Well, we're gonna need the seat, the cushion. That's C74. That happens to be right where my finger landed. There we go. We need C61, which is this guy here. Okay, we need C65 and 66, that's both sides of the seats, that's these two. And it looks like we're going to need 63, yep, that's for sure. And I'm going to need C59, looks like a hood of some sort. I think that's the piece right there. And that's going to assemble that. And then we need I-46. Now I-46 I'm going to have to paint the same color as the cockpit blue, which means I'm going to leave this off for now. So I'm just going to leave that for a bit, and when I'm ready to actually start putting more of the bucket together, now that I realize I have to assemble more of the bucket, I should have done that before putting in the panels, because I'm going to have to mask them off to paint now, to paint the rest of these, and otherwise it's all going to look kind of funny. But anyway, let's get our seat put together here. We'll see how this all looks and how good or bad. Look at that, they undergated it. Little details like that, like they undergate the seat bucket, the seat cushion, of all things, so that you don't have a nub sitting on top there. That's a nice little thing. That's straight out of Bandai's guidebook. I don't think it's going to matter on this one very much, but I got a nub on the back here. That will probably stop the fitment, so yeah. That one, put this one kind of in the curve here. There we go. Okay. This one's got nubs on each side. I'm curious what these are. What this particular piece, what is that? Because, you know, I see it in the planes. It's almost like these are air conditioning tubes for air conditioning, but I'm not sure. I don't know. See, they undergated this piece too. See that nub? It's on the, it's connected on the back, not on the top. And they undergate it so that you don't see you don't get a nub showing. Even though this is on the bottom, it doesn't really matter. Okay, so we'll do our sides first, I guess. Taking this guy here, it looks like these guys go on. Looks like that's going to line up right in there like that. Actually, what I'll do is I'll put the seat cushion on first. Now this is, we're supposed to go this direction. This. So this guy, these two channels are supposed to line up with these. So that means the seat's going to sit like this. So let me get my glue. I'm going to need this, and I think I'm going to need my extra thin also. So that's actually a tight fit, almost don't need the glue. So put a little glue on there and there. I will say, you know, I've had a weekend of some technical difficulties with my videos, that's for sure. Was filming what was going to be almost the last part of building our Porsches with my fiance, and my camera wound up freezing, and could not figure out why it was freezing, and so I just wound up leaving it, and so we just filmed basically just her building the car, with me kind of off camera for like a good 90-95% of the video, and that's all we could do. And I don't even know if I'm going to even wind up being able to finish the series of the Porsches, because the camera's just not behaving at all. So yeah, put our seat cushion on first. That definitely helps align up our sides. For sure. There we go. Okay. It's looking like a seat now. So then where does this go? This goes at the top in here. It doesn't look like there's an up or a down. That goes into this little area up here, into this little slot there. Like that. Does not want to cooperate. Fine, I'll use the tweezers then. Little jerk. In there. Get in your home. It's supposed to fit in that little spot, that little slot there. It doesn't want to. Maybe there is an up and a down. It doesn't fit that way. Let's turn it around. It seems to be the same either way. Doesn't quite fit in. Maybe when I get some glue on there it'll fit in a little better. Oh, my chicken's ready. Okay, my chicken is ready, so I gotta run away. I'll be back in a minute.
1 minute, 37 seconds later.
Okay, so let's get back to this. Where were we here? Where'd my part go? There it is. So let's put a little bit of glue on the back side of this. And give that a squeeze. Feels like it's not really notched in where it's supposed to be, but it's as best as it's going to get without any modification. And then we have our little hood, which looks like it just sits on top like this. We've got nasty nubs that didn't get trimmed right here and here. Trimmed a little too much, but that's okay. So this is going to slide in like that. Over top, just like that. So I'll just hold that like that. Get my thin. Let the thin do its thing. There we go. We're obviously going to have some kind of a cushion that goes on the front. That a bit of a squeeze and make sure that's good. There we go. Okay. So there's that. Anything else? So now they want decals to put on there. I'm not going to be doing that. We've got a cushion that's going to go on the front here. That's going to be C58. And then we've got I40, our seat belts. But we got to get this guy painted the colors he's supposed to be. Right? So I'll put the headrest in C58. Let's grab that one. 58, where are you? That's this guy here. Put the little headrest in. That was about half an hour, so I need another. I need to just realize I need to set my timer again. There we go. All right. So, let's put this back with the more curved part facing up. I'm really struggling today. Actually, 2 days I've been struggling with dropping stuff. This doesn't really seem to fit in there. Oh, because it's not supposed to fit in, but just on. See, there's a little bit of a lip all the way around of it, so it just sits on the face, and it's actually bigger. I just want to trim off the sides a little bit here. It looks like I got a little bit of flashing going on. It's just flash that's on there. So it just sits like that. It is a little bit bigger, but it's supposed to be. So just to make life easier, I'm going to put some of this glue on the inside channel here and here, like that. Pick this up like that, and put him on like that. A little bit of a squeeze, make sure it's tight. There we go. So there's our seat. Okay, that's what we're looking at. Okay. For now, I got to do a bunch of painting, because as I've marked off in here, we're supposed to paint some black and some silver parts. The seat cushion's supposed to be khaki. Our little tubes here are supposed to be a burnt iron. Yeah. So let's just grab some black here. Actually, you know what I like? Lately I have discovered that I enjoy painting using Mr. Surfacer 1500 black as my base flat black. It seems to have better qualities than Tamiya's XF1. I don't know why. Tamiya's XF1, maybe I've got a bad bottle or something like that. It just doesn't flow very nicely and doesn't paint very good. So I'm just going to take a check here. The seat is black, this is black, everything's black. C92, 92, 92, 92. No, that's not burnt iron, that's supposed to be black also. So everything's black except for the cushion. Okay. Everything's black except for the cushions. What I'm going to do is I'm going to grab, see if I can do this. How tough is that? I should be able to paint the whole thing. You know, normally I'd just spray paint this thing, but not today. We'll do some brush painting for you guys. Of course, with it all assembled, it is hard to get into the little nooks and crannies, but that's okay. A lot of the nooks and crannies are not even going to be seen once it's all installed. Really the only color that's different is going to be the seat cushions. But you know what? You can use the black as a fake shadow. Basically, you can use it like a pre-shading. Gotta get down in the crevice of that seat cushion where it's connected to the chair. A little hard to get in there. There we go. Get under here just a little bit. Don't need to go crazy with the painting on the inside because, well, it's never seen ever. I see guys sometimes do so much detail, they're even doing detail on the back of the seat. And the back of the seat goes against the wall, and then you never see any of that detail ever again. And so the only satisfaction you get is that you know it's there. You know that you did that detail, and that's literally the only satisfaction, because you never even get to see it again. Even you know it's there, you never get to see it. You know, maybe a year goes by and you forget it's even there. Until maybe one day you break the kit, something happens, it falls off the shelf or something like that, or you're packing it for some reason, and it falls and it breaks and the piece comes out, and then suddenly you see the detail you put into it. Or if you're like me, you got to get rid of the kit. You're just gonna get rid of it, so you're gonna bust it up. I've done that a few times. My kit stash, that, you know, my display is just too much and I don't have any more room, and I need to make room for new kits and stuff like that. Yep. And then it's like, oh yeah, I remember I did that. Okay, so the black is done. That's that. I do like the fact that, you know, when you spray paint, that's another thing about the Mr. Surfacer 1500 black. If you spray paint it, it's just straight flat black. When you brush paint it, it's a semi-gloss black. And that's something that's really unique about this stuff. Now, to me as XF1, it does spray paint pretty good. You thin it down and it sprays nice. It's not quite as smooth as the Mr. Surfacer, but of course Mr. Surfacer is meant to be a primer. XF1 isn't. So there is that. So I gotta find, I do have my khaki color, but I don't know where it is. And I don't want to bore you guys by digging through my paints to find my khaki. So let's just take this, that. So while I let this dry, and we'll just put this down over here, we'll move on to our cockpit, okay? Our actual bucket Bing, okay? So let's find our pieces here. We've got C40, 77, 75, 78, 79. Let's find those. there's C40 right here. Let's put this down here. C40, so back wall. Okay. C40 needs 77 and 78. Bing and bang. That's these two. Don't cut off the pins. That's something you want to be careful of. There's a little pin that comes off there, so you want to trim it back here, not flush against that, okay? So there's 77 right here. Just be careful, get right at that pin. Okay, 77 right there. And then 78. Okay, 78 we'll put over here. We need 75. This little rectangular guy. Okay. 75, and we need 79. This guy here. They look like the pedals. Alright. Where'd you go? Here. Okay, yeah, those are the pedals. It's kind of funny putting the pedals in because you almost never see them. In a lot of cockpits, even at the harshest angles, you can't see where the pedals are. You don't get to, just visually they get blocked by the instrument panel. About maybe only in like World War II planes, which I think I might build a World War II plane next. That might be my next thing after this guy. You know, I've been thinking about World War II planes lately, and you know, World War II planes, they have a personality to them that is kind of similar to the old hot rods of that era. They just have personality. They've got something about them that modern things don't have. You know, I don't know, it's really hard to describe. There's just something different about that era. Okay, so our back wall is going to go in like this, and I guess yeah, that makes sense now. Whoa! Oops, where did that go? That hit me in the shoulder. Okay, PVA glue is not a permanent glue, obviously. I gotta find that piece. Like, seriously, I need to find that piece now.
Thousands of tears later.
Alright, so obviously reinstallation of this is going to be in order. Simply because, oh, it looks like it broke. It actually broke when it came off. Yeah, it busted it. It busted that off right there. So, I can get away with this. I'll just file this down so that it's more of a 90-degree angle, so it looks more purposeful. So it looks like it was on purpose, like that. So I don't have that big piece there because I don't know where that went. That is long gone. That's going to be too small to find in my carpet. You know, I'll try and look for it later. But for now, I'm going to put this on the side. Put our wall on. Our wall is supposed to line up on the back and then sit on the back here like this, which is why they have the decals. The decals don't go all the way to the back here. And that's what the problem was with this one. This one I had set too far back. Right? So that's why. You're supposed to have a bit of a gap here. And so the wall is supposed to go on. And had I assembled the wall first, like I should have, I would have realized that. Okay, the wall's supposed to go like this. Okay, so I am going to glue this on, and I'm going to wind up repainting everything once it's all assembled. And this is what I should have done in the first place. Okay, hindsight being 20/20, I know what I should have done last time. I should have assembled the bucket first and then painted it. Okay, this is what I should have done, because now I've got to paint it again anyway, right? So why do it twice? You know what I mean? Okay, so next thing we're going to do is put in this little guy, and he's going to go in right down in here on those two little holes in the front there. So a little bit of glue on these two holes, and he can go in just like that. Okay, fits nicely. And then our two little petals, they just go in on top of them there, right there, like that. It's kind of a hokey mounting spot for them, but just do that, just like that. Okay, and now we have our 78 and 77. Now this is 77, so that's going to go here. 78 goes here. We put it with the panel down, and we put our this with this little square that's going inside. Okay, and that's going to go in this slot here. So I'm going to make sure this is nice and clean. We don't have any nubs or any flashing, so that goes on this side and creates this wall. Supposedly. It doesn't really want to fit, unless I do have it the wrong way. Maybe I have it the wrong way. Nope, that definitely ain't it. It just doesn't want to. It doesn't line up with the hole in the floor. And that is because in this diagram they're showing this little square facing the inside of the cockpit, and then when you look at this picture, the square is on the outside of the cockpit. They literally have it backwards. So the square is supposed to go, you want to have your pegs that stick up facing forward, and you want to have this little grid detail on the inside. So whichever one is going to work, whichever one's going to fit and be like that. So that should be this one then, and suddenly bing, it fits perfectly. How about that? Who would have thought? All of a sudden it fits like a glove. Which I guess is good in its own sense, because that way you don't get your lefts and rights mixed up. And that's always good. You know, like a 4-year-old kid with his shoes. Okay, so those panels are in. That's all done. Okay, so let's move on here. So we've got a couple of other things now that we're supposed to put in, such as our control sticks. But those are going to be black, and we've even got this white cluster that's supposed to go on top of our joystick, our main control stick. But everything else, C92 is black. So black, 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 with this one that's supposed to be silver. The rest of it is all supposed to be blue. And then we've got two panels that are going to go on the sides here. And those are supposed to be khaki colored, of all things. Going across here and here. But I've got to paint this, which means I need to mask off my control panels. So I think so. Didn't really get a lot done in this hour. Although I got the seat assembled, and I got it painted black, which is now dry. I got to paint that khaki, and I've got to paint the blue on here. I do want to try and find that display. I'll get down on my hands and knees and look for that later. But I do want to thank you guys for watching. I want to thank you for coming out, and thank you for all the support, and thank you for the new subscribers recently. I know that roughly 73% of you guys who watch my channel, you haven't subscribed. So please do me that favor and hit that subscribe button. In fact, when I do get to 1,000 subscribers, like I mentioned earlier, built a couple of Porsches with my fiance, so I'll show you guys that series once we get to 1,000 subscribers. It's a little bit of an interesting and learning curve for her and for me, actually. We wound up with some challenges with that, with the Porsches. Kind of a plethora of problems. Is pretty interesting how that all turned out. They're not quite done yet. We're still in the process of it. But anyway, again, guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for coming out. And yeah, that's about it for today. So we will see you all in the next one.